back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC as we have returned with round 3 of the Swiss group stage of Cheeseadelphia Grand Finals. And here we go. We're diving into our fresh best of 3 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love. We have the American Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. It is CalebAracous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Terran player, the Red Terran, representing, currently himself, but he is an ex-Cranky Duckling, and near and dear to our hearts, it is Dolan. The Danger Dolan. Let's go. And if you're in the chats, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. As a reminder, this is a best of 3. As, looks like we do have some hotkey issues. All good. More than happy to pause and fix them. Again, this is an offline event, and sometimes, we do have these issues, whether it's peripherals, whether it's some software issues. Earlier, we had some sound issues for one of our players, but it's all good. More than happy to wait and to fix them. Oh. As we are jumping back in. And as we dive back in, Dolan sitting up at the low ground, looking to dive into a 2-Rax opener. I would imagine 2-Rax Reaper. Dolan is quite fond of it, just to gain momentum early on, throwing down his second Rax further back behind the natural. That I was not expecting. Wait, are we 3-Raxing? Is that the plan? Potentially. So far, 2-Rax Reaper. We'll see if a 3rd Rax gets thrown down. Back at home, Caleb opening up with a hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of Caleb. And Dolan, he's setting up for his Reaper aggression. I'm assuming Reaper. I know that there is a build that Future did embrace, which was 2-Rax Marine into an earlier 2-1-1 timing or like a 3-Rax push. Yeah, he's going Marine. Okay. Interesting. Dolan, what have you been cooking? Meanwhile, shout out to Tater Tutor in the chat. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. God, thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. And hope you enjoy the tournament. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft, as we are going to be embracing more and more Marines. This looks like a one-base all-in. We're massing on Marines. I'm curious if Dolan expands or not. Okay. SV's in position. Looks like he will be throwing down the CC at some point. At least I would imagine. Overlord's being hunted down. And the command center is going to be placed. Now, this can lead into a 2-1-1. This can also lead into a 3 or even 4-Rax if extra Raxes get placed. We'll see how committed and how aggressive this is going to be as he attempts to hunt down the Overlord. Get out of here. The Overlord is on the run. The Rax is coming. Alas, there's no pillar. There's no more pillars out here. It's out in the open, so the Marines should hunt it down and the Overlord will fall. Full. That will supply block Caleb. Oh, that's a pretty hefty supply block here. The 3rd base likewise being delayed due to the additional overlords. Spine Crawler gets thrown down, and we have confirmation. We were curious. Was this the beginning of a 2-1-1 or something more scary, something more dedicated here? 3rd and 4th Rax. It's going to be a 4-Rax sim timing. This is going to hit like a truck. It's going to hit quite hard. Lings get across the map. So far, the Marines are out of position, but the wall will hold. And the scary thing here is that Caleb, yeah, there we go, he does cancel the Spine Crawler, did overreact, but Caleb needs to get into the main. He needs to confirm whether or not this is more macro-oriented, whether we're headed towards drop play, or more Marines. Does need to get in soon. But now, Dolan's still building up, massing up more Marines. Dolan might pull the boys for this. That is an option. We might just go for a 4-Rax sim timing and pull the boys and just commit. Whenever Bjorn goes for a 4-Rax build, he does often transition afterwards into a 3rd CC. Bjorn does do this from time to time, or at least he did do this last year, I should say, in 2023. But I think Dolan is typically more of a dedicated player. He's a lot more all-in, or willing to embrace all-ins. So we'll see. We'll see if he does pull the boys. Meanwhile, back at home, Caleb going for a roach response. Very safe follow-up. Overlord dives in. He confirms. Yeah, he does confirm. The Raxes does get eyes on the factory follow-up, which means Dolan, he is going to be taking up further from here into a starport. But that's a lot of Marines, and Dolan should move out. He's moving out across the map. by the time he gets across the map, Sim will be done. Caleb did somewhat saturate that third base. But is the Roach Warren too late? Uh-oh, Roach Warren's not done. Here comes the army, and Caleb, he needs an army here and now. He's massing up Lings, massing up Queens, no Spine Cooler to defend. Oh, this is going to be brutal. This is brutal. The Roach Warren is too late, just now finishing. And Dolan, he's about to pull the trigger. That is how many Marines? 25. 25 Marines. Yay. The Roaches are still in production. Caleb, he evacuates the natural. He's not ready for this. One overload goes down. So will a second, and potentially a third. Oh my god, Lings, they cannot get us around. Not on the choke point, not on the ramp. The Lings melts, Queens as well, and Dolan, he breaks it. He just snowballs out of control. He breaks on through, busts into the main. Oh, he gets 5 drone kills, gets up to 6. Gets up to 9. 10 drones go down, all the Lings, 2 Queens. Caleb does hold, but remember, behind this, we're building up and getting ready for that next step. We have tank production behind this. Oh my god, getting to tanks, into medevacs. Dolan did do a crippling amount of damage. Dolan, he is ahead in workers. He has a greater economy. And Caleb has to redrone. He has to redrone. He has to resaturate. His Roach is moving out for a counterattack. But he's not going to do much here against the tanks, as the first tank has arrived. But what I will say is that right now the correct thing to do is to drone. Like Caleb, he needs to drone up, he needs to saturate at least on a 2.5 base economy, take extra gases to be able to afford an army to be able to fight back. Speaking of, there we go, gases being taken, double Evo chamber, I mean, to catch up in upgrades. Third TC's on the way for Dolan. And now we can calm down. We can just calm things down and embrace a longer game. Dolan is being active with his medevacs, but he's keeping the tanks at home. He's keeping the tanks back at home. Only going to be drop play. The Ling does confirm. Caleb, he spots this. He may not have seen the drops though himself. Not quite in position. Drops going for the Queens. He gets 1. 1 Queen goes down. Going for the second. Second Queen falls as well. But he can trade against the Roaches. Here picks up. Drops towards the natural. Gets eyes on the tech. Caleb just having a hard time keeping up. Does split up his Roaches. Somewhat ready for this. You know, Dolan, he wants them. Medevac taking hits. Up. Under fire. Roaches go down. Dolan, he goes further. Goes to the mineral line. And again, despite the droning that Caleb went for, he's now even on workers, which means he's behind. Dolan has mules. Still has the greater economy. As he's now getting his third. And he may not over. And now here comes the push. That was merely only a taste. Merely only a drop here from Dolan. Now here comes the main army. What does he have? He's got 4 tanks. +1, stim, combat shields, concussive shell. Pushing on to creep. And Caleb, unfortunately not quite ready for this. No Ravagers. Yeah, he stims in, he breaks through the Queen. Gets on top of the Ravagers, will deny them. Will shut down the third. Caleb attempting to set up a flank, even going for a counterattack. Doing what he can, hoping to force Dolan back home. We'll get some counter damage. But Dolan's not stopping. He's not stopping. And plenty of reinforcements back at home as well. Ravagers, 2 of them barely morph in, 1 of them survives. But the tank volleys, they're brutal. They're so brutal. GG, and Dolan will take game number 1. We'll take a lead in the series. Again, a very aggressive, very assertive start from Dolan, going for a 4-axe. Again, Caleb just had a really hard time reading what was going on. Eventually, he did scout the 4-axe. Eventually, he was aware. But remember, by the time he did, the Roach one was already late. It was in production, but it was already a little bit late there. And as a result, he wasn't ready with the Roaches in time. Didn't really have much of an army to stop the initial move out. And Dolan, he took a lead from there. Did take a lead. If you remember, he killed 10 workers. It was 10 drones, 2 queens, all the Lings, and he forced out all the Roaches as well. And that was enough to, yeah, give Dolan a comfortable lead to get into the third, to snowball out of control. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting ready for game number 2. And we'll see if Caleb can bounce back. We'll see if he can actually get into a more comfortable game state here against Dolan. Again, Dolan is typically a more aggressive player. Very aggressive. Whether it's on 1 base or 2 base. As game 2 is going to be on ley lines. Okay. Jumping into ley lines. Ley lines likewise has a similar rush distance by ground compared to Ultra Love. The bases aren't as defendable though. So we'll see. We'll see if Dolan goes for another quirky opener. I imagine he will. I'll be honest. Oh boy. Here we go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is CalebAracous. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the American Terran player, the red Terran, leading the series 1-0. It is Dolan. When was the last time Caleb played SC2, right? It's been so long. It's been so long since I've seen Caleb play. Again, I think the last time I casted Caleb was like in 2020, maybe 2021. I think the last time I casted Caleb was the Spicy Team League. If you remember, that was a team league that showed... Oh my god. Gas first. Jesus. It's going to be a gas pool opener here out of Caleb. Much more aggressive, much more assertive. This can lead into a fast link speed, a Bane Bust, or even a Roach Rush. But the Spicy League was a team league hosted by Sugar. It was like an NA like team league that I think Caleb was a captain in. I remember casting that. That was like quite a number of years ago. It's been a while. I do miss the Spicy Team League though. It was great. A lot of banter, a lot of nods, a lot of NA. Now they're Dolan going for a much more standard opener. Just racks expand. This time there's no low ground setup. Going for a standard opener. Meanwhile, the question becomes, what is the gas going to be spent on? As we have our initial 100 gas, link speed is on the way, and Caleb pulls out. Okay, he pulls out of gas, there's no Bailey Nest, no Roach Warren, just fast link speed for Caleb. Is going to allow him to have quite a bit of control early on, true. SCV confirms how late the expansion is, he gets eyes on the links as well. Dolan knows. He's aware of what's going on. Will pull out. Reaper likewise attempting to engage. SCV does get surrounded, but he will find the links. We'll shut at least one down. Trying to hunt down the others. And he will find them. I do appreciate that Caleb, he's peeling for Ling every time, just trying to buy time for Ling speed and preserve his Lings as best he can. Gets across the map, can threaten the CC. Oh, the kiting out of Dolan, up! Oh god. Knocks up the Marine, but hey, does keep it alive. Marine does survive, Ling gets a full scout of the main, confirms the 1-1-1. Once again, a much more aggressive build here by Dolan. As Ling speed is revealed. But with a 1-1-1, it's going to be a faster starport, more dedicated Hellion production. This can lead into something like a Hellbat push, and we're delaying the third CC. Third CC is delayed with this. So a much more aggressive start. Back at home, Caleb, still just droning up, is making some Lings, but isn't really making too much use of Ling speed. Not yet. As he has 6 Lings back at home. Reaper Scouts is thrown away, but does confirm no extra gases at the natural. Does confirm at least a lack of gas. As Caleb is just now pulling back in. Just now saturating. You see Dolan embracing a Banshee opener initially, and I was curious, what was this 1-1-1 leading into? Part of me was thinking maybe Hellbats, but no, it's going to be a Fusion Core. BCs are on the way. Oh boy. So Dolan opening up Banshee into BC. This most likely will lead into mech, by the way. Let's go. We saw some bio out of Dolan in game 1, but we're leading towards mech here in game 2. Third CC has been placed here as a part of the wall. Dolan will move out. I love Spicy League. Yes, it was beautiful. Oh, shout out to Disrespect. Hope you're doing well. I was sad to see that you weren't here this time, Disrespect, but hope you're doing well nonetheless. Aliens, they do get across the map. Lings, they try to collapse in. Oh, so far the volleys are brutal. Lings go down, and he gets into a mineral line, and drones are getting roasted. Getting up to 4, 5, almost 6, 7 drone kills. 6 drones even. Clutch spore trick there out of Caleb, saving whatever he can. Still 6 workers go down, and that was merely only the first wave of aggression because Dolan is getting to his BC. First BC is on the way. More Hellions are amassing. Of course, now with the new old Cyclone, something like Battle Mech is more viable, and there are the factories. We have confirmation it is mech. As it often is, post-BC. Not always, but often. So we are embracing the mech. Third CC being taken. Caleb back at home, still trying to saturate, getting into double Evo chambers. Roach Warren is done. Caleb hasn't seen too much across the map, and thankfully at least has spores. He's got a spore in each mineral line. Looking at the units tab, he's got 6 queens. That's not a lot, but it could be enough, depending on how the army dives in. Meanwhile, the first BC has arrived, teleports across the map, and he's going for the main. He's going for the main base. Drones are being targeted. We get 4 drone kills. 5. From here he can get away. The queen should be able to zone. At the same time, Hellions, they dive into the third. Lings are somewhat in position, but they're going to get roasted. And once again, more economic damage. Oh god, getting up to 13. 14 drone kills. 15, 16 drones get roasted. The entire mineral line goes down. And the BC is still wreaking havoc, just catching more overlords. One after the other. And Caleb, he just can't sustain these losses. He's forced to just resaturate. Redroning. Meanwhile, more BCs are on the way. Caleb is going to have to respond with a Spire at some point. Still no extra queens. Still only 6. Oh, he's supply blocked. He's supply blocked as well. And Dolan's looking great. He's looking quite comfortable. Looking quite comfortable here. Now with 2 battle cruisers. Not actually embracing the new Cyclone yet. Getting to tank production instead. Something a little bit more old school. Just tank Hellion. I mean, Cyclones, they can pop off. But Dolan's not using them. Oh, he's honorable, Pat. Oh, he's crazy. Not making the new Cyclone. Has been patched, by the way, for those who are curious. Was bugged for like a week, I want to say. Did last a week or just under a week. But it has been fixed on the ladder. Species, they arrive, they pop up with their Yamatos, they shut down the queens, and the Spire is still on the way, and it's such a delayed Spire as well. And without the Spire, what's the answer? There is none. There's no answer as the BCs have free reign, they just waddle in towards the natural, focusing down more drones. Oh god. Going for the roaches. Spire does complete. We have 6 Corruptors on the way. Meanwhile, here comes Macville Accelerators. Here come the Cyclones. They're coming. The cyclones, but they're coming. As Dolan, he's just having a really hard time figuring out what he wants to do with this army. I mean, he knows that across the map there should be tanks, there should be a setup. BC still wreaking havoc. They deny +2. Corruptors are revealed and they just teleport back home. Just teleport back. 16 drone kills again. And Dolan's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. So it's one of those things where Caleb, if you look at his worker count, it's looking quite healthy, but he's been forced to just rejoin. He's been forced to spend all of his lava just making workers and remaking workers, which means his main army is lacking. He barely has a main army. A couple of Ravagers, a couple of Roaches, 6 Corruptors. And that's where Dolan can soon move out. Soon be able to move out. Caleb trying to keep up. He's focusing on remaxing himself. Hive is on the way. Dolan going for a split push, moving out with at least his Hellion Cyclone, keeping his tanks back at home instead. He has backfield. Scans the main army, playing it safe. Playing it safe instead. Dolan working on 2-2. I mean, technically, Dolan doesn't have to push, doesn't have to commit. Oh, we do have the surround though. Lings are coming from behind. Where are the Hellions? Well, not enough. And so far, this is going to be a nice catch for Caleb. Shuts down the Cyclones, cleans up all the Hellions. Very nice surround here from the Zerg. At the same time, BCs, they hit another expansion. But Caleb is keeping up. He's holding on. Dolan wandering too far on creep. The Yamato's popping up. They shut down the Corruptors. There's only 4 Corruptors left. 3 even. And Dolan can break through. He can't just keep pushing at the same time. Caleb, he does counterattack. Where are the tanks? Tanks not here. And just Hellion Cyclone. BC is forced back home. On the wilds! Oh my god, they shut down one of the BCs. Nicely done here from Caleb. Shuts down the battlecruiser. Dolan making more tanks. He has a lot of tanks. He has 14, soon to be 20. 20 tanks. Ay, ay, ay. If Caleb can somehow get to Broodlords, then he can try to hold on, but without them. We'll see if we can hold on here. We'll see if we can survive. Buy time, chip away at the army. Pop over the vials. Oh. Maybe crazy Hellions. We'll slow this down. Forcing the army to siege ahead of time. 3 more starports on the way. Tank boys will be popping off. And the Roaches, they melt. He cannot fight this head on. Not like this. The army melts completely. The BCs are resets, but again, the ground armies will popping off. Dolan, he breaks through, takes down the expansion. Corruptors going for a counterattack. They cause X-Ray. Planetary will fall. From here, I wouldn't even be opposed to Dolan remaxing with Thor. It's going Cyclone. Can still help. Oh no, the drones as they line up. Oh my god, 18 workers go down. 20 drone kills. That was brutal. Oh my god. As Caleb does plummet in supply. Dolan is max. Nice lightning cloud. Let's go. Catching out 2, 3. Oh my god, the lightning clouds once again. Caleb catching out Dolan. It's probably the best trade he could have hoped for. Still down in supply, but catches the BC. Unfortunately, the Corruptors, they have limited uses here. And they're going to be cleaned up as well. They left idle over the army. Oof. Brutal losses there for Caleb. He's had some good moments though, don't get me wrong. But he will lose every single Corruptor. The potential Greater Spire Broodlord transition isn't quite there anymore. Caleb rotating over. Catching out the Unsieged tanks. Well, he's trying to. Attempting to. Yeah, and he does try to engage. GG gets called as Dolan. He overwhelms, and Dolan will take the series 2-0. And so far, going undefeated in the group stage. GG. GG, well played. Dolan does take it. It did come in as the favorite play, but a shout out to Caleb again. He had his own moments here. Unfortunately, he was unable to scout the initial BC follow-up, and as a result, did catch him off guard. The BCs did a lot of damage early on. Likewise, so did the Hellions. With that, Dolan did have a very nice advantage coming into the early to mid-game, and Caleb, he had to try to bounce back from there. And again, he was able to at least catch out the Cyclone army, catch out the BCs. There were definitely some nice moments, but overall, he did fall behind economically, and as a result, production-wise, army-wise, was overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. With that, round 3 is concluding, and oh my god, that's a lot of updates here. We have a lot of updates to catch up on. ! Be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves.